Hey guys, what's up? I just made an exciting discovery and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So, the exciting discovery is about Cycle Sequatchie. I think I'm saying that right. Cycle Sequatchie. And to know why that's exciting to me, I need to tell you about this. This is the three state, three mountain challenge. So, in kind of the general southern Midwest, Tennessee Valley, I don't know what you want to call it, but Chattanooga is not that far from me. It's like 4 or 5 hours away. And I'd heard that they had back around the end of the noughties this great ride. I had a friend named Terry who always went and did this ride called the Three State, Three Mountain Challenge. And he always talked really highly of it. He did say it was kind of dangerous because it was oftentimes wet. It was always the first weekend of May, put on by the Chattanooga Bicycling Club. And this ride was a century. It had a century. You could do other rides, and it went through three states and it had three mountains. It was a really, really awesome ride. I went there by myself in 2011 because I decided to take on this challenge. So I went there by myself, and I just had incredible. I couldn't get anybody to go with me. I don't know why. Like, I'm such a friendly person, but nobody wanted to go that year. I had an amazing time. It was awesome. They'd had a tornado that year, though, and it had destroyed like a section of kind of like Lookout Mountain because the third mountain was Burkhalter Gap, and they took that whole part out. So I didn't get the entire ride that year, but it was still fantastic. I had such a great time. I loved the ride, and I went again. I got the next year in this year, which was 2012, I got some friends to go with me. In 2013, apparently they had some bad weather and a rider died, swerved, lost control of his bike, and was hit by a car, swerved into an oncoming lane of traffic. And I think that was kind of sort of the end of this ride in a way. Like, it kind of started a downfall. I know that when I did it, there was 2,000 riders, and I believe that the attendance started going down after that. And I don't know, it just seemed like there was some negativity about the ride. Weather was bad. I know the ride continued, but I remember that there was talk of it might not continue. And I know for whatever reason in 2013, 2014, there was a few different reasons why I didn't want to go, but money was a big part of it. Like, I was not really in a position to go on big cycling trips at the time. And that was one of the best things about the ride for me too, is it wasn't expensive. It was only like, I think like $50 or something to do the ride, to do this a super well supported century. And just a beautiful course, and just, they even timed you. You know, it was kind of almost like a race. I think they gave you a timing chip. So 2017, 2018, I'm kind of like back into cycling, and I was in a position where I wasn't out of cycling in those years, but for whatever reason, I guess I didn't have a job for a while there, a good job, so I couldn't afford to go. I remember wanting to go again and finding out that the race had been canceled. They were not doing it, but at the exact same time, it seemed almost like a little fishy to me. The Hincapie Grand Fondo, I think he has like a series of Grand Fondos. He had Grand Fondo Chattanooga, and it looked like it was pretty much to me about the same route. And I thought that was kind of like, a little bit fishy. So they don't have the actual Three State, Three Mountain Challenge, the legacy event that's been going on here, but now it's the Hincapie Grand Fondo. Oh, and by the way, the price went from like $75 or whatever, $60 or whatever. Now it's like $250. It had jumped up a lot, and I was like, no, I'm not paying that. I don't care if Hincapie's putting it on. I don't want to spend that much money to do the same ride. That ride has been out of my mind for a while. I haven't thought about it, but I was going to talk a little bit about it in this video, and in the process, I was doing up a little research and found out a little bit more about it. So I do remember reading that there was a lot of contention. The bike club did not necessarily want to get rid of this ride, but it was almost like a majority of them. I know a lot of them wanted to keep it, and a lot of them wanted to get rid of it. So a gentleman who does, I think it was called Velo View Tours in Chattanooga, has started a new ride called the Sequatchie Century. Took me like 20 times to get that right. I think I'm getting it right. Cycle Sequatchie Century and Three Mountain Challenge. Now, it's not the Three State Challenge because it doesn't go down to Alabama and Georgia. And it's also going to completely avoid Chattanooga. Now, I mean, arguably the part in and around Chattanooga was what made the Three State, Three Mountain Challenge so epic. The fact that you start in the pretty big city, you start early enough that you kind of have the city to yourself. You did like a lap around the city. You start this big ball field. But this is pretty much everything that you need to have a great Century. It's in the country, so that's going to simplify things a lot. There's a what looks like a really nice town. They have like a sprint contest on Friday. They have like a buffet after the ride. And the mountains look just as steep, you know. They look like some pretty strong mountains. I think it goes up to 2,400 feet on the first climb. So there's like 3 separate mountains if you do the full Century ride. It looks like a pretty awesome ride. October 7th, maybe a spiritual successor in a way to the 3-state, 3-mountain challenge. At least a similar type of tough mountain challenge ride. So I may do it. Who knows? Perhaps I'll see you there. Later.